Welcome to Review Every Ship by CitizenCon 2024. The point is to give an update on every ship since some haven't had a video made about them in years, and others, the information is simply too spread out to be helpful in making decisions. Remember, digital ships aren't imaginary, digital ships are imagine necessary. A quick shout out to my first ninjas, StarTouch and Rob. Shout out to my Jonin Ninja members, Radium TX, Paline 10, The Solid Exodus, Damon Donaldson, Dark Wolf God, and ETL in spades. And my Chunin Ninja members, Raygun 972, Wakan Yosai, Rage 1, Scorpio King 3, Soul Galaxia, Meat Salad, and Praetorian. And of course, all of my other members from every level, who are all listed at the end of the video. As always, membership is never required, but always appreciated. You help make this YouTube dream even more possible, so thank all of you. Every month we do a giveaway to give back to this wonderful community, and it looks like it'll be given away in approximately 4 days, maybe 5, and this will be the M50 and Mantis Skull Crusher skins, coupled with, of course, that RSI Mantis with LTI. To enter the contest, make sure you're subscribed to Billionaire Ninjas, leave a comment on at least one video, and like or dislike a video. Winners have 2 weeks to claim their prize. Members collectively have a 25% chance of winning just for being members. So if you're subscribed, consider hitting that join button. And if you're not subscribed, I appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. For the full giveaway details, make sure you visit our Billionaire Ninjas Discord or our social media at Ninjas Leap. Today we continue our short ride through the Mirai manufacturer, and the next ships are the Mirai Razer series, and it's 3 variants. We have the Razer base, which is 145 standalone, 130 warbond, 120 at concept, cost about 1.9 million in game. The LX, which is 150 standalone, 135 warbond, was 135 at concept, cost about 1.9 million in game. And the EX 155 standalone, 140 warbond, was 140 at concept, cost about 1.8 million in game. A quick note, I will be doing the first of my weekly streams starting Saturday the 28th of September 2024 at 9 p.m. on both YouTube and Twitch. Make sure you ask questions on the community post on YouTube, and I'll answer some of those along with taking questions live. The Monday show will be at 5 p.m. The Wednesday show will be at 12 p.m. Future Saturday shows will most likely be at 7:30 p.m. All times are Eastern times. This is going to be the schedule going forward. These shows are on Eastern Standard Time, which is -4 GMT, meaning I am 4 hours behind UTC. Back to the video. All of the Razer series is time limited for sale. The base is the only variant available for rent, and the 3-day price is about 140,000 credits. Mirai makes a bid for the next Murray Cup with the all-new Razer. This advanced racer features an advanced composite space frame that puts pure speed ahead of everything else. It's the ship for pilots who want to leave the competition in the dust. The Razer gets supercharged. The LX features an overclocked engine to unleash blazing top speeds. This power comes at a cost with reduced maneuverability and armaments, making it ideal for straight shot racing. But who needs weapons when you're leaving your competition in the dust? Outfitted with signature reducing materials, the Razer EX was a specialty build for the UEE advocacy for use in surveillance and extraction operations. Although the EX was ultimately rejected for widespread use, Mirai released a variation of the model for the public who were looking to keep a lower profile. The Mirai Razer. The 90s was a wild time. For measurements, the base, LX, and EX are all the same. Length 11.5 meters, beam 8.2 meters, height 2.7 meters. They are all size 1 snub ships, but technically they're small ships because they have a quantum drive. But continuing, for crew, the Razer series all have the same minimum crew, which is 1, and maximum crew of 1. The base carries 0 SCU, and so do the rest of them. The claim time for the base, the LX, and the EX is the same, 2 minutes, expedited is about 40 seconds, and the expedited fee should be about 1,500 credits. The base and the EX have about the same speeds and maneuverability, a top SCM speed of 280 and a max speed of 1450. The SCM speed is way above average overall and is way above average for its class size. These two are tied for second fastest ships in the entire game. The nav max speed is way above average overall and is way above average for its class. These two are tied for second fastest again in the game. The LX drops by about 5 from the SCM speed and by about 50 from the nav max speed. Yes, you heard it right, the LX, which is normally the fast variant, is actually slower than the other variants in 3.24.1. The entire Razer series has the same maneuverability, however, at least until the LX gets fixed, which I will talk about later, and that maneuverability is way above average overall, but below average for its class. For hydrogen capacity, all of the Razers are the same, which is way below average overall and way below average for their class, reaching the bottom 5. When it comes to quantum fuel, the Razer is tied with about 15 other ships for the worst quantum fuel capacity in the game, so I can't really call it the worst. But that's not as relevant as the quantum stats, which all of the Razer series are local, meaning you can travel from moon to planet and planet to moon, but anything further will be difficult without a refuel support ship or multiple stops along the way, even though you can swap out a part that I don't suggest you do, but you can in order to go a little further. For weapons, the base and the LX both come stock with two size 2 pilot-controlled Badger repeater weapons. No remote turret guns, no man turrets. The LX has no missiles, but the base has two size 1 marksman infrared missiles split between 2 missile racks. For weapons, the EX comes with two size 2 pilot-controlled Hellion scattergun weapons, no remote turret guns, no man turrets, and two size 1 Spark cross-section missiles split between 2 missile racks. The hull HP for the base and the EX is 8,900, which is way below average overall, but for its size, it's actually the second best hull HP for its class. The LX has a lot less, which is 2,900, which is actually 4th worst in its class. The shields on the base and the LX are the Targa Competition Grade C shields, which are bubble type shields. The shield pool is about 1,500 and it regens at about 67 HP per second. The shields on the EX are the Shimmer Stealth Grade C shields, which are exactly the same as far as stats for the 3.24.1 patch. For ship parts, the Razers all have the same size parts. The whole series has one small radar, one small computer, one small power plant, 2 small coolers, 1 small shield generator, 1 small fuel intake, 1 small fuel tank, a small quantum drive, a small jump module, and 1 small quantum fuel tank. For special features and amenities for these ships, well, not many amenities here for snub fighters that are also kind of technically small fighters, except it does have a decent amount of external stowage for each model at about 860 micro SCU. My preferred loadout for the weapons on all of these are ballistic scatterguns because you need to do as much damage as possible on every run, and you're going to do a lot of runs. You should be getting in there, hitting very hard, and then leaving, and then coming back to do it all over again. You will have plenty of time to line up shots because you should be able to take at least a shot before you completely get destroyed. And also because you are so incredibly fast, it should be pretty hard to hit you. For missiles, go arrow missiles instead of the stock for all of the variants. And then for components, the LX, you should go competition grade A and grade B where A is not available. And for the EX, I would go all stealth. And of course, for our Razer series, the base, I would say you should do all competition grade as well. Now it's time to rate these ships. A rating I rate from 1 to 10. My 1 is only by if you have a unique reason that is specific to you or because you like the looks of the ships. My 10 is if you have the money, these ships are almost guaranteed to be useful to you in the game. A 1 doesn't mean the ships are useless or ugly, and a 10 doesn't mean that the ships are perfect. Just remember, these are just our ratings. Please give us yours in the comments down below because we need to know if we're crazy or simply delulu. My rating for this ship is, of course, going to be handed out based on which variant we're looking at. The base is a 7. The LX is a 5. The EX is a 10. Let's start with what I like about all these ships. Well, the speed is the most obvious thing, the second fastest ship in the game, and the fastest ship if you only consider ships with a quantum drive. Well, at least the EX and base model. Not to mention, it's the toughest snub ship in the game. Well, at least the EX and the base model. And of course, having both guns and missiles makes this one of the best snub ships in the game. Well, at least the EX and the base model. I also like the looks of these ships. They are very sleek, have tiny cross sections, and have one of the most unique looks in the game. What I like about the base is it proves that you can have a decent racing ship with not only guns, but guns and missiles without making too much of a sacrifice. What I like about the LX is that it has the same hydrogen and quantum fuel capacity as its counterparts. What I like about the EX is, well, it's the best snub ship in the game. I know what you're thinking. I just said something similar to that in a recent video about another ship. But hear me out. The EX technically is not a snub ship, but is a small ship which is a step above. However, it comes in a tiny snub-like package and meets all the other requirements. So technically, as of 3.24.1, the Fury is the best legitimate snub in the game, because that does not have a quantum drive. But when you remove that technicality, it's the Razer EX, and it's not particularly close. There are a ton of reasons for this. The stealth capabilities on such a small ship, the cross-section is nearly non-existent, making this nearly immune to cross-section missiles, the mixed weapon and missile loadout, the massive speed without losing too much maneuverability, the ability to use a quantum drive, and last but not least, the toughness, even in comparison to a lot of larger ships. I mean, take a look. It outclasses the 300 series, the Gladius, and the Blade. And this, my friends, is why the ship is a 10. If you have this ship, it fills both your snub ship needs and your small fighter needs. Oh, and you thought it was finished there? No, it is also one of the best racing ships in the game, in both the snub and small category. I will note that is mostly based on statistics. I have only raced it in a few times. All of this, of course, is as of 3.24.1. Oh, and did I mention it's not just a stealth ship, it's the stealthiest ship in the entire game. And when properly kitted and properly flown, it is extremely difficult to hit. So, with all that said, what are the issues with all of these ships and how would I fix them? Well, the base is the best version of the Razer for racing. Well, except it's not. The EX is, because it shares exactly the same stats as of 3.24.1, and that's on literally everything. The only real reason it seems to get the Razer over the EX is if you want that cool blue skin it comes with, or you just can't spare the extra $10 for the EX. The LX, well, where do I begin? I'll start with saying perhaps this ship is bugged as of 3.24.1 because this was my first time flying it, and it was by and large the worst of the bunch as far as speed, which is supposed to be its main focus. If the speed worked correctly, I'm assuming it would be a 7 instead of a 5, and would probably be the best racer in the game in my opinion. However, in its current state, I can't understand why it exists. Well, except to be completely outclassed by its brother and sister variants in every way. The EX, well, as I always say, my 10s don't mean a ship is perfect, so here is me putting my money where my mouth is. The price on the EX is very expensive. Yes, I said it does a lot, and I do believe you get what you pay for, but for such a cheap ship in game, it's ridiculous. It's my one knock against the ship, but it's a big one. So who are these ships for? The LX is a paperweight, but only for the current patch. In future patches, it will be the best of the three for racing. The base will be a bit more maneuverable than the LX, so it may fit the bill a bit better for people who don't care about the extra bit of speed. The EX is for people who want the best of two worlds and the third best of a third world. I know, a little bit of a tongue twister. The Racer is where it gets its third best. The Snub Fighter, best. Stealth Fighter, best. I can't imagine I will ever own a dedicated racing ship. This is the closest that I would ever get. I imagine using the LX, well, assuming the future LX, as a point A to point B ship when I'm going from planet to moon or vice versa. The base I plan on using for the same reason, except I would add this into my quick reaction force team for a small base or outpost along with a Fury base or a Fury MX. The EX I would use for all of the above, except upgrade it from point A to point B to the only single seat daily driver I would actually use. I also, if forced, would also attempt to race in the EX, occasionally. And I assure you the occasion would be rare. I know you're here for our ratings, but if you really want a ship, go buy it. We won't stop you. Or even better, all ships can be earned in-game once the game releases, and some you can purchase in-game right now. These are just our ratings, but when you spend, it's your money. My opinion? Skip the LX until that speed says it's faster than its brother and sister in a straight line, and I mean I wouldn't even get it in-game until then. The Razer is for the person who really does not want to spend an extra $5 on the clearly superior EX. The EX is the one to buy if you're going to spend money, and is the only small ship outside of a starter ship that I would ever be okay with anyone buying with real money. That being said, these ships are all very cheap in game as of 3.24.1, so even my beloved Razer EX is an earning game for me. All right, that is it for this one. Shout out to the members. Thanks for spending your time with us. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.